What is the average case value for a wrongful death case when the parents of an adult child are the survivors and the adult child has died due to the carelessness of somebody else? It's important before we discuss this to understand that every single case is different. The type of damages that are available in every case are different, and also the facts of every case are different that give rise to the proper valuation of the case. However, it is helpful to look at other cases that have settled or that have had jury verdicts where you're dealing with the same type of damages. In this case, we're talking about an adult or a parent whose adult child has died. I've had several of that type of case, and because of that, I have done a statistical analysis of other cases that have resolved, that have had where the survivor was the parent and there was an adult child who had died. So it's also important to remember that the parent of an adult child is only entitled to compensation for their mental and emotional pain and suffering if there are no other survivors. In other words, if the adult child has no spouse and has no children, then the parents of the adult child are entitled to compensation in the event of a wrongful death for their own mental and emotional pain and suffering. Okay, so, but how much is that worth in terms of a jury verdict or a potential settlement? So what we found we did a random sample of 100 wrongful death cases involving parents who had lost an adult child. And what we found is that the verdicts ranged from 0, which would have been a defense verdict where the survivors lost the wrongful death claim, to a little bit more than $15 million. So there was a range in verdicts and settlements of between 0 and $15 million in the random sample that we've got. And the average, if you added them all up and you divided it by 100, the average was $1.747 million. So that would be the average result either from a jury verdict and a judgment or a settlement of our random sample of 100. Now, very important to understand though, that by just looking at the random sample, you cannot tell the value of your case. The valuation of a wrongful death case requires the skill of an experienced wrongful death attorney. One of the main factors that I think are incredibly important that a lot of attorneys don't take fully into consideration is that if you've got a parent of an adult child and they've lost the adult child, that parent is not only entitled to compensation for mental and emotional pain and suffering, but they're also entitled to the estate of the child, and with the parent being the only heir to the estate of the child, would also be entitled to compensation for the lost net accumulations of the child. That is the amount of money that the child was likely to earn in their lifetime and minus the amount of money that they were likely to spend. So essentially whatever the child's, we would hire experts to determine the trajectory of the adult child's career, how much money they would have learned over a lifetime minus how much they would have spent, and the estate would be entitled to full compensation for the net accumulations, the prospective net accumulations of the adult child, and of course the parents of the adult child would be the heirs of the estate, so they would be entitled to compensation from the estate. So that's very, very important factor. So many different factors, not just that. And so it's important to consult a experienced wrongful death attorney. I am Jimmy Fasig. I am an experienced wrongful death attorney. I'm happy to discuss the value of your case with you. My phone number is 850-777-7777. That's 850-777-7777. If you've suffered the loss of a loved one, please feel free to give me a call and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Thank you.